You can get your Dragon Ball Figuarts at Big Bad Toy Store at the link in the description.
Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Kaiju, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hello there, collectors. Steven here, and welcome to another entry in the Tournament of Power Saga here for reviews on the channel, where we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Full Power Jiren. That's right, very soon after the release of the original SH Figuarts Jiren, we have him in his final appearance in Dragon Ball Super. At least at the end of the Tournament of Power Saga, where he gets super beefed up and he fights Goku in his Ultra Instinct form. And then there's a couple other things that happen. And of course, it's not a form, it's a technique, but I'm just gonna say it just nice and easy for 4. Okay. So Full Power Jiren here is going to be a p-bandai exclusive, which was brought over to the United States by Bluefin for retail distribution. So this way you can buy it without any sort of issues. But with that being said, is this gonna be worth the purchase? One production run and done, folks. No reissues here. So let's take a look to see whether or not Jiren here is worth adding into your collection. So Jiren's got a lot going on for him, and I do have to say there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad here. So kind of right off the top, what is good? Let's hit this thing going on a high note. So Jiren is sculpted really well. He looks super beefy. He's got a 2, 4, yep. On this guy, they sculpted him with a 6-pack, though I guess technically you could say, oh, whatever. He's got some serious ab muscles going on here. The muscles are really well defined. On all of the alternate head sculpts, he's going to have lots of veins going on there. The torn up shirt looks good. He has some tattering on the pants, which looks just fine as well. The gloves are all torn up. Very good. Yeah. This Jiren is sculpted very nicely, and the paint application for the general wash for this figure to sort of make it look a little dirty and to bring out some of the details does look good. Now, where does this figure sort of not look good? Well, one of the issues that I have with mine, and this is a warning you get pretty much with all of your SH Figuarts, is that if you're not careful, you're going to have paint scrapes and paint rubs throughout your figure, and I've never had that issue, realistically speaking. Couple of times I've had that here and there. I can think back to my Super Saiyan 3 Goku Figuarts from a couple of years ago where there were some issues with the hips. This is the first time I've had that since then. And yep, I've got some paint scraping on the hips, which I'm kind of upset about. Yeah. Also, something of note, Jiren is sort of purplish, pinkish on the main body. I don't know if it's the wash that they use, the plastic this guy was casted in. For whatever reason, some of the different parts of Jiren don't look like they're the same color. I'm specifically looking at the left butterfly hinge for Jiren at the shoulder, and it's not the same color as the rest of the body, except for maybe another piece that's the same color as it. So it kind of looks like they don't have one coherent system going on here. I don't quite know what's causing that. So it's definitely not the lights, because I've asked a couple other people about it too. They agree. So I don't know what's going on there, but yeah. So generally speaking, Jiren has a fantastic sculpt. The paint application for the smaller details, like all of the head sculpts, it looks good. But we do have a couple of issues that Bandai probably should have tightened up the quality control on. Now, fundamentally speaking, Jiren's articulation really hasn't changed from the previous release. However, quality control-wise, I think mine is a little bit of a dud, as you can kind of see here. So let's just talk about what we have here as one, a refresher, and two, just to kind of see how things changed a little bit. So the head plugs here on this thing, which is going to be a ball joint on this ball joint here. So this one, let's see if I can actually show you it here. You can see this moves. So that is on a ball joint. It's kind of weird, but it is what it is. I really never get that ball joint to move, no matter how hard I try. So realistically speaking, we're just going to get that ball joint that sits here in the neck to be the moving joint for Jiren's head. And then, of course, this neck sculpt plugs into the body on a ball joint. So yeah, Jiren's going to be able to look around in all sorts of different directions. Realistically speaking, except up, that is the only direction that I have a hard time getting him to look. But down and everywhere else, yeah, we're just fine there. Now for the shoulders, we have very impressive butterfly hinges, which if you take a close look, it actually kind of seems like they're on ball joints. They do leave a big gap, so if gaps aren't your thing, well then I don't know why you're buying action figures to begin with, but c'est la vie. I do find it, just like the other Jiren, to be a bit of an issue when you're going to put it back together, or put it back in a neutral pose, that I feel like I'm maybe pushing a little too hard and I'm scared of a breakage, but you know, something to keep in mind. Now, speaking of breakages, when you're going to move the arms, again, like with the other Jiren, I found it a little bit difficult when I have, let's say, the arms popped out. You can see right here that the shoulder sculpt is pushing in back up here to the body sculpt again. I'm pushing, am I going to break anything? The shoulders, where they plug into that butterfly joint system there, they are on ball joints, but mine are really tight. And this one here, let's see if it'll make a noise. Yep, there you go. It's very, very tight. I've already applied dish soap per the method that I have already, and I'm just waiting for it to loosen up. But honestly, I am kind of scared that that is going to twist and break. So if you do have tight joints, never force them, kids. Make sure you use this video that should be popping up here if I remember to add that card to loosen up your joints. So this way you'll be good to go. Anyway, continuing on, we do have hinges for the shoulders here, so we can raise and lower Jiren's arms, and we have dedicated bicep swivels, which is great. Double hinge elbow per the usual, and Jiren is actually going to be rocking normal ball joints for the wrists, which is a little bit of an issue because for his other hands, he can't hold his hands like that. He's just kind of doing that. We do have a ball jointed ab crunch here, which really gives us a way to look back, which does help to get Jiren to look up, which is good. Twisting and turning from side to side is okay, not all that great, but it's there. Looking down, that's just fine. And we do also have a ball joint in the waist here, which allows us to rock Jiren from side to side, which again does help with the ab crunch, which is good. Twisting and turning, we can do it, but you want to be careful not to scrape any paint, which I'm actually going to show you something here in a minute if you didn't quite really catch that in the previous section. Now for the hips, they're going to be just like all the other renewal style Figuarts, the 2.0, where they're going to be doing the double swivel and hinge hip connection there, and they're supposed to be pegs that plug in, but for some reason this guy feels like he's using ball joints, which I mean, I know from disassembling previous figures that I don't think those are supposed to be ball joints, so I don't know why mine here is kind of loosey-goosey like that and they kind of feel like ball joints. But as you can kind of see, we got a little bit of wobble there for this Jiren. Yours may not be that way, but it is something definitely to keep in mind that mine's a little loose. But anyway, we're supposed to get double swivels. Unfortunately, he can't kick back out because he's got a very thick booty, but he can kick forward very nicely, and to go from side to side, we're looking at that. Now, right out of the box, we do have some paint scraping here at the top of his hips and thigh connection, so do keep that in mind. You don't really want to scrape there, so that is a possibility for your figure as well. Just be careful. We do have dedicated thigh swivels, which I do not know what that is, but okay. You can see that's about the extent of the movement there. We do have double knee hinge, which always works nicely. We do have swivel hinge at the ankles, as we have always had, and we are going to have a toe hinge, which is good. So good ankle rocker, good feet movement in general, and like the other Jiren, made in Vietnam, and he actually has relatively soft feet, just like the other Jiren. So yes, we have a lot of the same notes as the previous Jiren in regards to how this is going to be for articulation, but a couple of things have changed, particularly quality control. So on mine, do I prefer the articulation of this over the other one? Not necessarily, but yeah, he's good. Thumbs up. Accessories time, and what do we get here? Well, I'm going to be honest with you, I really don't know. Jiren's attacks, so he gets an orange gummy ball for an effect part, which is pretty cool, which is going to be only usable for one of Jiren's hand parts. He's going to come with 3 extra sets of hands, and he's going to come with 2 sets of gritting teeth head sculpts and 1 roaring, yelling head sculpt. So let's go ahead and take a look at those heads, where you can see one, he's gritting his teeth. You can see his eyes. Cool. Another one, he's gritting his teeth even more. Can't see his eyes. Another one, he's screaming. Okay, moving on. The different hand parts. We are going to get karate chopping hands or specium ray hands. Yeah, so he's Ultraman. We're going to get really splayed hands here, so that's pretty cool. Yep. so he can do this kind of pose like he's the Hulk or something. I don't know. Looks cool. You can use these hands for whatever you would like. And then we have sort of gripping hands. Thinking back to the original Jiren release, these are the kind of hands that were used for that Super Saiyan Blue hair holding hand part. But here for this one, this can also be used for him holding his orange blob of yumminess. I'm not going to lie, that thing looks like a gummy and I kind of want to eat it. So I kind of can't do this review for much longer. This is actually sculpted in such a way that you just kind of twist it into his left hand. It's specifically sculpted that way, so this way Jiren can hold it and he can palm it with super ease. There are no issues here, and it would be interchangeable with the default normal Jiren. Why do I say that? Well, guess what? If you do have that Jiren, you can swap parts between them. That's right. You can even do the different heads. So, just to show you what a head swap is going to look like, we're going to have a normal Jiren on the left and the full power on the right, and they're both going to use each other's head sculpts. So this way you can kind of see what that looks like. Paint is going to be a little bit off for the full power, and it actually kind of looks like the normal Jiren head sculpts are a little bit smaller for full power, but hey, here you go. Now, also of note, for the normal Jiren, if you're going to be using the full power heads, there's going to be a little bit of an extra gap. So just something to keep in mind. Now, what else can we add here? Here's the summary. Generally speaking, Jiren full power, he comes with pretty much everything that I could reasonably expect. I was hoping though for a repeat of that flame fist effect part, both the actual fist in and of itself and that flame effect. That would have been really cool. But if you do have the original Jiren, you can use that as well. And yeah, those red eyes as well. So Jiren, the only thing that I can think of is maybe like a flame effect, a bundled option DX set. Come on, Bandai, start doing those. It'd be really cool. Yeah. But anyway, Jiren here pretty much comes with the essentials. If you have the first release, it makes this better. And of course, if you need stands or effect parts, you know I got videos to help you out. Now let's go ahead and move on over to a size comparison here with the Ultra Instinct Goku, so this way you can see how big these two would be on your shelf. And as you can see, not only do they scale well with each other, but they scale just perfectly fine with some of the other figures you may already have in your collection. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. As it's already been discussed, this is a p-bandai exclusive, and though it may be brought over by Bluefin, so this way you can purchase it at retail here in the United States, one production run, done, that's it, goodbye, see ya. If you're thinking about picking up Jiren, get him now, not later, because, well, once he's gone, and prices are gonna skyrocket through the roof, and you don't want that, right? Nope, no you don't. So just keep that in mind. But how was the figure? Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not a super duper huge fan of Jiren, and on my particular unit, feel like maybe I got a quality control reject. Not necessarily worth what I paid, but very happy to actually have it. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.